how to calculate ARV like a real estate pro. Hey guys, Zach Ginn, Flip with Rick here. I am going to show you and teach you today one of the most requested topics I get on a daily basis from people on Instagram, Facebook, and our groups is how to calculate ARV. And people drive me crazy with this because to me, honestly, calculating ARV is so simple and easy. But for people that are starting out, they don't understand it and they need help with it. So I'm going to do a huge breakdown today. So now that anyone who messaged me saying, how do I calculate ARV, I'm going to send them this video. So that's fun. But we are going to do this ARV like a real estate pro. We've been in the business here, Flip with Rick, for 17 years. Personally, me 3, going on 4. I know how to do calculating ARV like crazy. I'm going to do everything today. So let's get into it. So what is ARV? ARV is the after repair value of a certain property. So what is the property actually worth after it's repaired and it looks nice and great and on the market and stuff? And why do real estate wholesalers like ARV so much, and why are they so infatuated by ARV? It's because of the rule of 70% multiplied by ARV minus repairs is the max value that they can actually provide for a seller on an offer. So if the thing is worth 100 grand, 70% of that is 70,000. If there's $5,000 in repair, the most they can offer is $65,000 for an offer. But that's for another video, guys. But let's get into actually calculating ARV. So the first thing we need to do is we have to run comps. Comps is just another real estate lingo term for comparables and comparable sales in the area. So what we need to do is actually find the comparable homes that have recently sold in an area of a certain property. And we're gonna actually calculate the price per square foot, make sure we find things that are very similar. So we actually calculate the right ARV. Too many real estate wholesalers are giving just way too inflated ARVs that just aren't correct. And this puts a bad name on the industry when we're trying to provide a service to cash buyers and when we're trying to help our sellers out. So the one thing we need to understand this upfront about ARV is the facts are the facts. You can't inflate and make things look better when they really are. Your cash buyers are going to see through it and they're not going to buy from you anymore. So providing great ARVs is what you really need to do. Plus you can go back to the seller and get a better price. So guys, if you see a comp that is next door, the same square footage, the same everything, and it's sold for a price you didn't like, you have to put that in there. You just can't exclude that. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to go on one of the services that we would like to do. So you can either use Zillow, you can use PropStream, you can use Redfin. PropStream you got to pay for, but if you want to, if you have that service, you can do it. But Zillow is free, Redfin is free. Trulia, there's so many great services you can use to actually find recently sold homes and pictures of the property. So when we decide what free service we want to use just to look at things, we're going to calculate everything by similar square footage, similar bed and bathrooms. We're going to look at similar age, similar conditions sometimes. So when I mean similar conditions, I mean if a property is a 3-2, just like the one we have under contract, but the thing was literally just like a hoarder's home, we probably don't want to include that too. And one of the most important things we need to calculate is location, location, location. That's what's so important in real estate. So if we have a extremely comparable home, but it's half a mile away, all the way out west or east or north or south, it's probably not a good comp. So when we look at these similar homes that have recently sold, we need to do within the last 6 months, especially now with this whole coronavirus situation, things like that. If you go 8 months from now, it's a bad ARV. Like I'm calculating ARVs now from like a month or 2 ago, just because of the situation in my market, and it's changing every single day. So we are gonna find recently sold homes in the area with these similar characteristics. We're gonna find about 4 to 7 of them, and then we're gonna calculate the price per square foot of that home. So if we have a 2-1, a 2-2, we're gonna find houses that are 2-1s and 2-2 similar. We're not gonna use 3 bedrooms for that. And if it's 1,000 square feet, we're not gonna compare it to a 1,500 square foot one. We wanna compare it to like a 900 to 1,200 square foot one. when we want to do it. So we're going to include the bad comps and the good comps, everything that's just the facts. The facts don't care about your feelings for it. Like it's what the thing is actually worth, what is the real after repair value for it. So we're going to include the bad ones, the good ones. We're not going to fake or inflate it. We're just going to use the facts. So let's actually go to my computer, my laptop, and I'm actually going to calculate ARV in front of you, how I'm actually doing this. And then I'm going to include a special bonus. I'm going to show you the max I would actually give on a deal like that now, if it was now. And we're just going to go there and we're going to calculate it and we're going to calculate ARV like a pro on the computer. Let's go. All right, guys. So let's pull the ARV for a deal we did. Here's one in Stuart, Florida. So this was a nice little deal that we had. So this home was built in 2001. It was 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. It really should be a 3-bedroom. I don't know why a 2,000 square foot house is 2 bedrooms, but beyond me, whatever. So let's calculate the ARV on this one. So I'm not going to show you the pictures of it because we need to know the ARV. So let's look here. Repairs is something we can do. Let's look. Okay, so the cool thing we can do here is we can go to similar homes. And this is in a specific neighborhood, so it should be pretty easy to do. Now, we can't compare these to a lot of these 3-2s in here. So we can actually go here and look at the map feature that Redfin has. I'm doing this live, guys, so this isn't some weird scripted thing, so that's why. All right, so we can actually look. There's some similar homes nearby here, so let's look. So this one right here, A. So this was this 2048. All right, a little more, but whatever. So Kings Mill, which is extremely similar right there, if you can see that one. So we're going to write this one down, 392,000 for 2,048 square feet. I'm going to calculate this right here. Alrighty, so the second one, which is very similar, which was a 2-2 for 310, sold for 1,804 square feet. Okay, the age was pretty good on that, so 310, 1,804. And then we got, let's see the other, so this one right here, it's a 3-2. I'm not going to include that one either. And then this one was a 3-2 also. So let's go around the areas and see if there's any 2-2s that we can include also. It's a 3-2. And again, this one was a 3-2. So unfortunately, this is in like a little niche neighborhood. So I don't think there's any 2-2s like that. So it's a lot more difficult to calculate it with that extra bathroom. It's not too similar. So unfortunately with this one, I'm almost stuck at these 2 comps. So let's see what we're at here. So we're stuck at 191 and 171 here on this one. So that's a toughie. So let's look here, see this other similar, it's just so similar, I might want to include it. So let's see what happens. So at 380 for actually sold less than that other one that was only 2 bedrooms. So I guess we can include it. I don't think they're affecting the property values too much. The same model too. So it was 185. So let's go on this one. And so that one just doesn't work. It's just too nice of a house. And if you can just look at the construction, the model is completely different. This one was built in 2001. This was 2003. And we need to check. So this one looks like, see if it has a pool. No pool. Has a screened fence. So I'm not going to use that one. It's just not similar enough. So Redfin's giving me the 356 estimate on this one. Let's calculate it on ours. So ours is 2,028 square feet. Oh, I gotta charge my battery soon here. 28 square feet. So we're gonna So let's get the average of all these per square foot. So we're gonna multiply this by that one. So it's giving us a 370 ARV on this one. I think might be pushing a little much, but I think that's something pretty similar to it. You know, it doesn't have some elaborate features on it. We can look a little further, but I think it's pretty smart considering this coronavirus in this market too. It might be less than what it could be. It does have an office. It did have an office in it, but you know, obviously it's still ranch styled. So we're going to do that. And then let's just go on PropStream real quick and then see what we can find on this. So this is the free service. So this would be PropStream. So that was the free service. So this would be PropStream. Let's just pop that in there. Okay. Let's see here. Alrighty, so it's popping everything. Estimated value is 306 on this one, so very interesting. So let's see what they got to say. Let's see here. So the average comps is showing 377. Okay, so we can actually look at some of the analytics here on the value that it sets here. So it used to be at 360 3 years ago. So the average sale price in the area is 377. Days on market's pretty insane there. There's very little equity on this, but you know, that's because we sold it. So that's what the tax assess has on it. It did sell for 320. So just from the analysis on here, let's look at some comparables. So let's choose both. So we got 43 comparables. Let's take out, let's see here. Anything square footage just a little too crazy. Like these are a little too much. Let's take out all the 3 2s. Actually, those are actually similar homes. And we got some 3 2s. That one's a little much. Okay, so let's see what it's telling me here. So the average sale price 375. So, you know, that's what the comps show from it. So that's how we do the ARV there. So if you look on the Excel again, so 370, so we know what the max acceptable offer would be here. So that's 70% of the ARV. So just a quick one right here is we'll just do 370 multiplied by 70%. So that is the most we can offer someone on a deal like this. Now, obviously that will change. If I could get a property like that for 280, 290, I would take that all day and try to wholesale that. But that is the 70% rule minus repairs for like a killer deal there. I'd look at that again because when pricing's a little much like that, we have to see. But that is it for actually calculating ARV. This was pretty simple and easy. This is Zach Ginn, Flip with Rick, signing out here. And if you have any more questions about ARV or pulling comps, just please message me on Instagram at Flip with Rick, and I'll get to you guys. So, see ya.